Awesome. Happy Thursday. This is the last Thursday of 2022, and I'm, as usual, very thrilled, very excited to be teaching. As I was preparing for this class today, and obviously I'll introduce myself really quickly, I was just thinking about the topic. I was just thinking about what it really means and what we're going to talk about today. And I I'm honored, really, I am, to be teaching this topic and to be extrapolating on some elements that I myself have struggled with over the years. I said, be willing to be seen in 2023, show the world what you've got. And as I've been looking back at my journey, as I introduce myself, I've not always been a coach. And right now, I'm going to introduce myself as John Muturi. I'm your life purpose coach, business mentor, workshop facilitator. I work with purpose driven and ambitious women to really tap into their gifts and monetize them so that they can live their one royal life with boldness and courage. And when I say that, it's really from the bottom of my heart because that was me. Exactly the person I'm talking to is the person that I was, thinking to myself that, oh my goodness, what do I have that I could potentially share with the world that the world does not already have? And as you come and say hello, whether on Facebook, whether on YouTube, let me know that you're streaming in, because I want to first assure myself that this is not a Joanne thing where, you sit down with yourself and ask yourself, like, very well, she's asking me to be more visible, to be seen, show the world what you've got. And you're like, well, is there something truly unique or something that differentiates me or something that the world has not seen? And I want to give the answer before we even start. And the answer is yes. Your individuality, your style, your way of thinking, your way of expressing yourself, your way of being you. No one can be that. No one can do that for you, even if they imitated you a million times. And I was thinking about the identities that I have, taken in my life. And I want you to think about your identity. Whatever your identity is, I'm going to delve a little bit into that. But my identity has evolved through the years, and I'm talking about my identity in terms of also my career, having worked in the banking space for many years, 13 years, going to almost 14 years before I completely pivoted to what I'm doing right now. 6 years ago, almost. It sounds like yesterday. It's incredible, right? I always saw myself as a banker. I always saw myself as a marketer, a finance person, really helping people with their numbers. And that was always what I saw me as. I don't know if you understand what I mean. That's the identity that that drove me, right? When I spoke to people, when I introduced myself, when I was out in the social environments, I would always come back as Joanne the banker, Joanne working for the UN Federal Credit Union, Joanne, who used to work with CBA. That's the identity. And CBA now, that's the identity I carried. A banker, a finance person, someone who helps people with their money, someone who helps people make more with what they have. And when I came into when I moved from Kenya and I moved to the United Kingdom, one of the things I felt very strongly in my spirit is that I was being diverted and I was being moved towards a different area completely. And I did not know what that was. For many people, when they're making moves, they make moves knowing what their moves are. But I want to say that I probably made one of those really bold moves that even when I think about it today, I'm just like, that's so ninja. But I strongly believe that that was the calling of God upon my life. And I can tell you for a fact that when I look back, I'm like, where would my life be if I had not made those ninja moves? Where would my life be if I never stepped up to the fullness of my calling? Where would my life be if I just said that I'm going to go to what I know, which is what's familiar, which is my banking, which is me working in a corporate setting, which is me seated behind a desk serving people in that way? And I shudder to imagine how much impact and how much influence and how much knowledge would have been lost along the way, how much wisdom would literally have gone to waste if I had not taken my life's calling seriously. And that's part of what I want to talk about today. So, as you come in, say hello. I see Team Joanne is here. Welcome from Ghana. I see you, Esther, streaming in from the UK. And I just want wherever you're streaming in, whether on Facebook or YouTube, to just say hello. This is our last live stream of 2023, and that was my preamble. I was just coming in sharing with you how important it is for you to really understand that your identity evolves and shifts. And I was just sharing a little bit of my own background, how I moved from my banking career, from what was so familiar, into an area I had never, ever really considered. I didn't know much about coaching. I had never been involved in the coaching industry. I didn't even know what the heck that was. And I remember just one day streaming in from Philadelphia. Let us know who it is. Sorry, I can't see the name. If you allow StreamYard to you will be, I'll be able to see who it is. But welcome from Philadelphia. Anyway, back to what I was saying. When I moved to the United Kingdom, this just about 6 years ago now, going to 6 years, I came from, as I said, a very very corporate environment. But when I came here, something in my spirit was telling me that it's time for me to shift, to change. And a lot of it in my head was changing from one career to another. I wasn't thinking of changing completely, like doing the whole 360 thing and going into entrepreneurship. And what I want to say is that one of the things that we need to do and to recognize as allow ourselves to be seen and to be visible and to show the world what we've got is to release every expectation we have of ourselves, to release every expectation of what other people have for us, and to allow God to lead. Because when I think about it, oh, Deborah, the menopause whisperer, she's watching us all the way from Philadelphia. Long time, Deborah. It's such a delight to have you, and I'm so pleased that you're joining me. Thank you, Wanja, tuning in from Kenya, my home country. I embrace you with love from my homeland, and I'm so glad that you're tuned in. So, as I sit and I imagine to myself, what if one day I just did what for me was normal? What if I did what for me was what felt like, oh, this is not stressful. This is not going to take away anything from me. And I just came here and applied to Lloyd's Bank or HSBC or Citibank or, one of the banks in London, and just settled for what I knew was familiar. Wanja, who is watching me right now, menopause whisperer Deborah, all the way in Philadelphia, my team in Ghana and the Philippines, I would never have had these interactions. Esther watching here, in next to me here in the UK, I would never have had the privilege of meeting all these amazing souls. And why I'm emphasizing this is because the moment you realize that there's a calling that has been placed upon your heart, the more willing you will be to share your gifts and talents to the world. So let's get to it. And I'm going to give you some points as to why this is very important. I was listening to one of my friends this afternoon, and she was just sharing her own on Instagram. And when she was speaking, I'm like, visibility is a thing. Right, for me, visibility is a thing. What does visibility mean? Let's first get to the meaning of that word. What is visibility? Visibility is number one. I'm reading from the dictionary. Is the capability of being seen, perceptible to vision. Right? If something is visible, it can be seen. So if you're visible, you are being seen. Right now, I am visible. You guys can see me. You can hear what it is that I'm saying. And as you build your visibility, what happens is you build your performance, you build your mastery, you build your ability to communicate, you build your vocabulary, you build, that essence of yourself. People get to see you just as you truly are. One of the things that I say is you can pretend for only so long. And my aunt is tuned in from Kentmere. Awesome. I love it. My aunt Mary is watching from Kentmere, my mom's sister. Oh, so nice when your family support you, isn't it? And I want to say that as you build your performance, you build your platform, you build your capability, you build your mastery. If you can remember all those things and ask me what I've said, and that's what I've seen over the years, because most people usually start by saying, but what message is it what message do I have to give? What is it I have to tell the world? And I want to say this, I'm not asking you to come and do live streams like me. I know not everybody has that, ability to do it like this, but there are various ways that you can share your expertise and your gifts to even the community around you. It doesn't have to be through social media, but you can have your impact in your own little way wherever you are. So if you're a teacher, right, be the best teacher that there can possibly be. If you're a lecturer, be the best lecturer that you can ever be. If you're a librarian like my aunt, be the best librarian in the world. Like, show up in that space, let people know what you've got. If you're the menopause whisperer, helping people like my dear friend Deborah transitioning from the days of their cycles to menopause and really embracing that, then be the best menopause whisperer there is in the world. And I can tell you for a fact that Deborah knows what it is that she's doing. And today I'm intentionally sipping from my mug, which says, be willing to be seen, because that's what I'm teaching today. You sharing your story with the world in not a way that is sleazy, and not in a way that is not in a sleazy way or in a way that is off-putting, but in a way that is engaging, in a way that is true to your personality, in a way that reflects exactly what your values are. In this online space especially, and I've shared this so many times, there are all sorts, right? For me, all sorts in the chat, there are all sorts. And you can always, I can tell you for a fact, the true colors will always come out. After some time, you get to see the true personality, the true reflection of who people truly are, because you can only pretend for so long. So the first advice I'd want to say, as you allow yourself to be seen, to be visible, to share of your gifts and talents in the world, is to be you just the way you are. And one thing I've learned with time, and as I said, I was listening to my friend's video earlier, and I contributed to it, and I said to her, many people think that it's too late for them to show up and, be do something really great with their lives. But I want to say, you'll only be as late as you think you are. You'll only be as late as you think you are. Because one thing I know about God is that He's never late. He does everything in his own perfect timing. He does everything as he wills. And if it is your time now to shine, and it is your time now to be visible, and it is your time now to show us what you've got, nobody, nothing, no place, person, or thing under God's world should stop you from that. So, first and foremost, I want to see this in the chat team, put this first and foremost, is be yourself. Be yourself, because everybody else is taken. That was my first point. My second point is show up, right? With your unique gifts and your talents, because your gifts and talents are unique to you. How I position myself is very different from how you position yourself, because your gifts are very unique to yourself. So some people may not, as I said, may not do this type of live stream, but what they're happy to do is to be behind the scenes and do things like, I have a podcast, the Next Level on Purpose podcast. Some people will just do the podcast, and that works perfectly fine for them. Why? Because they don't want their faces to be seen. They don't want to have to dress and do their makeup and all that kind of stuff. And that's not even necessary. But they're just like, I just want the mic, give me the mic, and I'm good to go. Right? Just hand me the mic and I'm good to go. So you identify your way, and that's the third point. Identify your way of showing up in the world. For some people, it's simply being visible by being being like, whether it's in your church, serving in that capacity. One of my friends, she's not on social media, she's on nothing, zero, but every Sunday she goes up in my church and she does the announcements, and she's very visible in that regard. So I'm not asking you to do things that you're like, no, that's not for me. It has to be, you know, in line with your personality. It has to be in line with what God has positioned you to do. And I this morning, you know, I was on a team meeting and we're talking about the different roles that our bodies have, right? The different roles that our body organs have. And I want you to listen to me really clearly. Each body organ and each body function does not minimize the other one's function. So right now, I'm using my mouth to speak, right? My mouth, what does the mouth do? The tongue, what does it do? It tastes, yeah. It swallows, it speaks, it's facilitating what I'm doing right now. But the fact that my tongue is the one being used right now does not make my legs, which are currently not being used actively, useless, because my legs are there to transport me from one place to the other. Without my legs, I would be immobile. And the legs, when the legs are moving, the tongue necessarily is not working, because maybe I'm just walking, doing going for my walk, doing my thing. I don't know if you're understanding what I'm saying. Just let me know if you're getting the different roles of these bodily organs and how they don't interfere with the other. And that's how I want you to see yourself. Your nose, it allows you to breathe, it allows air to enter your body, and then it filters the debris and warms and moistens the air so that it's taken in well by your body. But when your nose is functioning as mine is right now, it's not interfering in any way with my neck, which is moving left, right, as my neck supports the rest of my body structure. So I want to say this. Some of you are the neck, some of you are the hand, some of you are the nail. If my nail falls off my finger, God forbid, this finger will still function, but it will miss its nail. So I want you to understand that you have a role. And that's the point that we've put there, identifying your way of showing up in the world. There's a role that is so specific to you, just as the tongue knows its role. Just like my ears are very perceptive to listening. The other day I was at a party and my watch kept telling me the noise decibels are my iWatch are extremely high. Move from that environment. It could make you partially deaf, you know? And I'm like, yeah, everything serves its role, right? Loud noises. My ears are perceptive to loud noises, they're perceptive to sound. So are yours. So the ears are showing up for themselves. The nose is showing up for itself. My lips, my mouth, my tongue is showing up for it. My hands, the gestures I'm making as I'm teaching, right? If one finger is missing, my wedding band finger, ring finger is not there, what would happen, right? They all serve their role. The other ones would miss that one. They would miss the function of that other one. And I remember when my friend got COVID last year, she lost complete taste like for 3 months or something. It was really long. And she tells me, I can't taste a thing. And I'm like, just explain. She's like, I can't taste a thing, end of. So you can imagine everything going into your mouth. Coffee tastes like water. Water tastes like mango. Mango tastes like strawberry. Strawberry tastes like porridge. You can imagine like everything was just tasteless. Imagine what that would be like. Why I'm going deep into this is because I want to use that analogy, because for me I think it's so powerful if I use analogies that you can relate to. And I want you to know that your role in this world is so much needed. Just like the different body organs work independently but support each other, your role is so much needed in this world. So I'm very curious to learn as you guys watch. What is your area? What is your area of impact? What's your area of influence? Because it's important for you to start naming what your area of impact and influence is. So that's the fourth point. Name your area of impact and influence. Because how can you show up for that which you're not even clear about? And if you don't know what your area of impact and influence is, I would strongly recommend that you find that out. And that's why I always say, work with a purpose coach, work with a life coach like myself, who can really help you tap into your gifts and your talents and really bring out those areas of strength so that you can be able to showcase them with confidence. Because if you don't know what it is that you have to offer, how can you confidently show up in it? So, for example, right now you can see my team very busy writing the points. Her work is so clearly cut out for her. She's a really good virtual assistant. She's able to take this information and disseminate it for us in very clear steps. That's her area of impact. I'm teaching right now. I'm not I'm not able to teach and type at the same time. So having somebody else who is a scribe doing that for me, she's shining in her area and I'm shining on my area, but we are both doing the same thing together. We're supporting each other in the same thing, if you understand what I'm doing. And I see someone on Facebook who's an educator, and as an educator, you need to recognize what how your role as an educator is so critical and so important, because you are a disseminator of knowledge. Knowledge is passing from you to other people, and when you understand you're a disseminator of impact and of influence and of power, you will never hide. You will never be one of those people who is going, hiding your skills and your knowledge, because you hiding your skills, your expertise, and your knowledge is a disservice to God and to the world. Hi, beautiful sister, you look amazing. Thank you so much. Please let me know who it is. I can't even tell, because your name is not showing. It just shows Facebook user. But if you could let us know who's watching, I'll be very happy. And you are a catering expert. Excellent. I love it. So when you're a catering expert, again, she's sharing her expertise in the world. It's Mags in South Africa. So you see, we have the UK, we have Ghana, we have Philadelphia, we have South Africa, we have the UK. A lot of many of my Kenyans, we are well represented in this global stage. But had I not shown up or decided to allow myself to be used the way God wants to use me, how would I be able to create such a platform where people from all over the world are able to convene and share of their different gifts and talents? So you, by you withholding your gifts, like Mag's catering expert, she as she shares, of her culinary skills, the information that she has in that area, guess what? People's lives are being changed as a result. So I want you in 2023 to sit now, right, and say, what area of influence and impact are you determined for us to see you shining in? Because it's your time to shine. It's your time to let the world see what you've got. And I'm saying this with such love and such compassion, because some of you are the world's best kept secrets. And I want to see this. Do not be the world best. I am not the world's best kept secret. I want to see that as an affirmation. I have clients I've worked with who are super gifted. They are so, so smart, so knowledgeable, but nobody knows what it is that they have to offer. Why? Because they've been in hiding for so long. They've settled. They've been in such, in areas where they're not exposed. Nobody has exposed them or even demonstrated to them what they have, or they even know what it is that they are capable of doing, but for so long. And it's important I mention this. Our societal upbringing, how we are brought up, especially in the African context. I'm not going to talk about others. I'm going to talk about what I know in the African context. Children are told that you're meant to be seen and not to be heard. So you grow up over the years having this notion that nobody's meant to see you and that you're not meant to talk. And as you grow up, it becomes an unconscious bias, especially even for women, that you're not meant to be seen, you're not meant to be heard. And even if you are, you start hearing the labels and the stereotypes. She's too loud, she can't keep her mouth shut. Who does she think she is? Why does she think she knows it all? And all these things start coming, and as people say these things, they enter your subconscious mind, and without you realizing, you start folding your arms and you're like, you know what, I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to expose myself. But you don't realize that that has come a lot from your upbringing. It has come from how you've been brought up. It's come from your socialization, and you can change that. How do you change that? As I said, I'm going to tell you. Also, what are the benefits that you can get as you share of your knowledge and as you're willing to be seen in 2023? Number one, you become a master at something. So I always say, if you're not growing, you're literally dead. There's this statement that says that, um the person died at 30. It's just, literally, the soul died at 30, but physically died at 70. So you walked 40 years of your life, like, like, with no meaning, with no significance. And I found with myself, the more I teach, the more I the more I give of my knowledge, the more I am willing to share of my skills and information, the more I become a master at it. I've shared this story so many times. Let me tell you, I did not like doing these Facebook lives at the beginning. They would give me tremendous anxiety. You guys won't believe it. I would be like, who is this? What am I doing? What is this about? I don't want to do these lives. Why do I have to do them? But and I remember I would get so anxious before doing the lives, and I'd ask myself, but what message do I have for them? Why do I have to do it like that? Will people judge me? What are they thinking? People know me as a banker, they don't know me as this new thing. Do I look like, and a lot of imposter syndrome, a lot of so many other things were coming up. And I had to sit with myself and sit with my coaches and mentors. And that's why I always say, you need to have a coach. You need to have a mentor to get you out of your own biases, because we all have them. We all have our subconscious beliefs that are ruling us, and we do not take care of them. They are going to completely lead us to a place where we're not going to show up. And that's why some people are in permanent resistance. You're never able to break out of your own mental shackles, because you just don't give yourself that chance, right? So I want you to understand that when you share of your knowledge and expertise, you grow and you become a master at something. People recognize you as a valuable addition to the community and to the society. When I come and teach here, I'm not coming to waste your time. I'm not coming to waste my time. I'm coming to teach. I'm coming to bring value. I'm coming to bring substance. And that's the same thing that you're going to do. So let's see. Oh, Mag, sorry, sorry. Yeah, I can't see your name. Oh, bless you, Mags. Oh, yeah, Mags is not, no, Mags is in the tech space. She's not a catering expert. It's just like how the comments were coming in. All right, my Mags, I know which Mags I'm talking to. Yes, you're not the world's best secret, my team. You love the unconscious bias words. Yes, it's unconscious. We don't even realize, right? Especially when it comes to the different roles that society gives us. As women, you should behave in a certain way. As men, you should behave in a certain way, right? Yeah, you become a master at it. That's so true. The more you show up. Hi, Joanne. Hi. Oh, you didn't know that I was a banker. You can relate to the anxieties, imposter, and fear of judgment when it comes to being seen. Let me tell you, especially for me, it was that what you've just said. I was like, but everybody knows me as a banker. Everybody knows me as a financial expert. Everybody knows me as, working for the UN and serving in that capacity. How am I then coming and teaching all these other new concepts? And I'm like, who am I to teach these things? And right now, I want to say, who am I not to teach them? Because I'm absolutely qualified. The skills and the experiences that I've gone through in life, the academic qualifications, the mastery I have gotten from doing this work day in, day out has given me so much information and knowledge that I can tell you for a fact, even with my eyes closed. Yesterday, I was teaching one of my classes, and I was telling the ladies that, I've really mastered my craft, and nobody ever gets to a point where you're at your peak, but every day for me is a learning day. And I was sharing with the ladies in my 100-day sprint yesterday that, if today Oprah called me and said, "Hi, Joanne, I want to have an interview with you," I'm ready, because I've been showing up every week. I do these lives all the week. The times we were doing the podcast recordings, I've been on so many other people's podcasts. I've been on so many other people's summits. I've spoken at so many events that knowledge is not going anywhere. It is within me. So if you put me on a platform right now and you just ask me to speak on my area of expertise, life purpose, business coaching, and everything to do with vision, guess what? I will speak and speak and speak, right? Joyce is the catering expert. Yes, Joyce. So nice to see you. She's an amazing caterer. She catered at my last event in Kenya just before I came and we went into lockdown. So, so nice to have you. Amen. Who am I not to teach these things? I am absolutely more than qualified. Excellent. The next thing on why you need to share of your knowledge and skills, Mags, and everybody watching me, is that it helps you to stay motivated. Let me tell you this: when the more I come and teach, the more you guys give me the feedback, the more I realize I have so much to give to this world, the more motivated I am. Because each one of us inside, and I want you to write this, we are all naturally achievers on the inside. You may not feel it on the outside, but everybody and who God has created, He's put something inside of you where you want to make something of your life. Nobody wants to live a crap life. Nobody wants to live a useless life. Nobody wants to live a life of no significance. We all want to have a life of meaning. We all want to live a life that is contributing to the well being of others. And the more you're doing that, and the more you're feeling you're doing that, the more motivated you are. People on holiday right now, aren't they? Many of you, some of you on the sandy beaches of Cape Town. Some of you are chilling, with your cup of coffee as you're listening to me. Some of you are driving, to a party or whatever it is that you're doing right now, right? But I said, come rain, come sunshine, this last live has to happen. Very well, next week I won't be here because I'll be taking a week off to settle into the year. So we're not going to have our live next week, but we'll have our first live on the next week, which I believe is the 12th. 12th of that, the Thursday, the second Thursday of January is when we'll be having it. And if you can put the date for me, whatever it is, that's when we'll be meeting next. So I know some of you will be like, where is Coach today, next week? But it's because I will be, taking time to settle into the year and to do what I'm doing right now, creating my visibility strategy, doing the work that I've been put here to do as I prepare for the coming year, or, just really settling into the year. Yes, I see. Oh, you're a powerhouse coach. Thank you so much. I truly believe that each one of us has the capability because we all are powerhouses in our areas of impact. We just need to allow ourselves to be that and to let the people see what we are capable of. But thank you so much for saying that. You made me crave coffee. Go and I'm actually having. Oh, you can't. Can you see it? I'm just seeing my lipstick, right? I'm having coffee with almond milk because one of my clients, she's a holistic coach. She's like, I want you to minimize your dairy. And she's like, I want, so that's her area of expertise. And she said, when you're having your coffee, have it with almond milk or this. And I love the taste of the coffee with almond milk. So I try. I love my dairy, but I also love to be coachable. So yes, so the next session will not be next week. It will be on the 12th of January 2023. Thank you for um bringing that. So after helping us to stay motivated, why else do we need to be visible and to be seen in the coming year? It helps build recognition. It helps others, see you as a valuable asset, as I was saying earlier, and build your reputation. So my catering expert, my caterer, Joyce, Joyce showcases, in fact, Joyce, I saw your post earlier today where you are showing your cooking in your mother's house in the village. And all her posts are related to her area of expertise. If you go to Joyce's profile, you will know for sure this is a cook, this is a chef, because she's always sharing her presentation, she's always sharing where she's hosting guests and that kind of thing. So, same thing with you. How do people get to know what it is that you do? By having a recognizable brand. And I'm not talking, so when people hear brand, they're like, oh, that's a big thing. No, you are a brand, how you're representing yourself. So for me, I will share on WhatsApp groups, I will share in my social media, I'll share in different areas what it is that I do. Sometimes people are not very clear what it is that I do. And if someone is not clear what it is that I do, I'm very happy to always tell them, this is what it is that I do. I help women number one, understand what their gifts and talents are and help them monetize them so that they can truly create an impact in the world. Because what good are your gifts and talents if they are in your head? What good is an idea that never moves into full fruition? So my work is to take those ideas from your head, help you bring them into full fruition and make money as a result of those gifts that you've been given. Because many people will go to the grave, and as much as you've had this story over and over again, it's a fact. Many ideas, many businesses, many amazing things have been buried with people because they never moved them from ideation to fruition. And I want to say that in the comments, please, that when you allow yourself to be seen, the ideas move. You move your ideas from ideation to fruition. And that's what my role is, to make sure that nothing stays with you, that at the end, when you're done, you're actually telling people, bye, cheers, I've done my time, I've served you with everything I have, and now, it's time for me to move to the next realm. And for me, it's when I'm over 100 years, in Jesus' name, right? Serve the world, serve the people, do the thing, so that when your time is done, you're actually like, you know what, I've given it my all. How many of you can say that you've given it your all? How many of you can? I personally haven't. I've not even scratched the surface of the gifts that God has given me, because every time I think I've moved to, I'm good, I'm at where, I'm fine, I'm excited, I'm at a good place, something else is revealed to me, right? Something else comes, because the beauty, what I love about God is that the more you use your gifts, the more he reveals them to you. The more you use your gifts, the more he, because as you use them, they're coming out of you, so there's a vacuum left in you, and nature abhors a vacuum. So wherever a vacuum is left, it has to be filled. So every time I'm releasing to you, even now as I'm outpouring of this information, guess what? God is releasing new knowledge and disseminating new information to me. And that's where I'm like, don't be one of those people who is just stuck with all your ideas, with all the things you're holding, information, you're holding knowledge. For what? What are you doing with it? It becomes stagnant, and stagnant water stinks. Water has to flow, blood has to circulate. If your blood is still, can someone write? If your blood is not moving, if your blood is not circulating, it coagulates. Coagulates. It's not a good thing. It becomes thick. It's not moving. Let me even check for you coagulate, the meaning in dictionary, because I like using dictionary. This is what happens when your body, your blood is not. Listen, over fluid, especially blood, it changes to a solid or semi-solid state. Blood is meant to be fluid, but when you don't move, because we say that movement is what makes things move. Stagnant waters, I say, stink. Water is meant to flow, right? If something is not flowing, there's a problem. So if your blood is not coagulating, if your blood is not flowing, it's coagulating, and that's not a good state. Do you understand what I'm talking about? And that's why you have to make sure, right, that you're in constant motion with your gifts. So I want to see that constant motion in my gifts, and you're never, it's never too late. It's you know I wish I can emphasize this point, right? We are only too late if we say it's too late. Can I see that in the chat? We are only too late if we say it's too late, because God, you cannot put a cap on God. You cannot put a cap on on how God wants to use you. And many of us are cutting God short. He has so many things that he wants to do through you, but you're cutting him short. You're just like telling him, "Oh, listen, I'm finished. I'm done." And God has so much in store for you. He has so many beautiful things ahead of you. None of you know how much talent, how much juice, how much amazingness can come out of you if you allow him to use you. And I always say this to my clients, that delayed obedience is still disobedience. And some of you, under the sound of my voice, you're listening to me and you're like, you know what? I need to change. I need to do something different. My life needs to take a new direction. And you're thinking to yourself that 2023, you want to take your life to a new direction. You want to step into your next level on purpose. I have my, my business leadership program, my vision program, where I really help you to step into your purpose. And I'm teaching, starting that on the second week of January. So obviously, if you're like, listen, I need a coach, I need to work with somebody in the beginning of the year, team, I'd want you to put the link to book a call with me, because one of the things I always do before I run any program is I talk to the people, right? And already we have such an amazing group of women who have signed up for the next level on purpose, because it's exactly what the name says, stepping into your next level on purpose. We look at next level emotional regulation. We look at next level self confidence. We look at next level vision, next level leadership. What does next level faith look like? What is next level momentum and discipline for your unique situation? What are your next level capabilities? We work on you as a person. It's the only personal development program you'll ever need in your life. The ladies who did it last year, we have such amazing testimonials. And one of the ladies gives such an amazing um, breakdown. It's on my YouTube there. She talked about Rose. She talked about how her whole life changed when she did that program, how she moved from a state of massive depression, complete depression. The depression dissipated. It was no longer part of her life. And she was able to transition from a corporate job to relaunching her business after 6 years. But she needed to be in that room where she was being encouraged to be the very best version of herself. And if that's you, you need a life upgrade. If that's you, you're saying to yourself, I'm ready to be seen in 2023, even though I do not know what that looks like. I'm ready to trust the process. It's not too late. My doors are open. We'll be starting on Tuesday, the 10th of January 2022. And if it's something that you're interested in, send me a DM. But we also have the calendar link, so you can book a call with me next week, just to have a chat and see how that fits in with us. It has to be a good fit for you as it is a good fit for me, right? I always say I want to work with people who want to work with me, and I want clients to work with me from a place of readiness to do the work. I don't do whining, I don't do complaining, I don't have that type of energy. Doesn't work for me and my clients. And that's why I always say that you have to come ready for your transformation, because what you put into the table, what you put into the process is what you get out of it. So if you come with, oh, let's see if it works, that's exactly what you'll get. Let's see if it works. But if you come like, we are crashing this, coach, we are doing this, we are going to change one life at a time together. That's exactly what you're going to get out of the process. So what you pour into it is exactly what comes out of it. Hello, Angoi. So nice to have you. So that's the link. I've put the link up. It's bit.ly//clarity call with Joanne, and you can book your call with me next week. I'm off work, but technically I will be taking calls because the program will be starting the next week. So if you want to be one of those coming in next week, I will be very excited to have you on board so that we can start our next. It's a 5 months intense program taking us through to almost midway through the year. So by the time you're done, you will be operating from a very elevated place. And I want you to say that I'm operating from an elevated place. Because when you operate from an elevated place, nothing worries you. You don't have those anxieties of, oh, will it work? Will it not work? You go with confidence. You show up with a sense of purpose, which is the next point. That when you're operating and allowing yourself to be seen, you walk with a sense of purpose. You're not worried about what people are going to say about you. You're not going to have, the human mind, let me tell you, it's subject to what is, we call a strong negativity bias, which means that the negative events that happen in our lives are more memorable, or how do I say, they impact us more strongly than the positive ones. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, for example, I'm doing this live stream, and everybody here is like, "Oh, coach, you're a trailblazer. Oh, coach, you have such a sense of purpose. Oh, coach, you're operating from an elevated place." You say all, and then one person says something nasty in here. Guess what usually happens? My mind would immediately just think about that negative thing, and it's a human thing, right? You receive nine compliments, nine positive things, but you just that one critical thing is the one that you'll be bothered by. But when you walk with a sense of purpose, let me tell you, I'm not crushed. Nothing will crush me. And I'm telling you the truth. And even if I go down, because I'm human, I have my ups and my downs, I'll feel bad for a few minutes. But after that, moving on swiftly, they're the nine who got it. The one rotten apple is not going to stop me from doing what God put me here to do. So to offset some of these things, even as you get more visible, as because the more you're seen, the more visible you are, the more you're put into public scrutiny, the more people shred you and break you down into pieces. And people will do that. They'll try to put you down, they'll try to, say all manner of things about you, but let them enter one year and come out the other year. Why? Because you know who you're serving. You know who has given you that purpose. Those people are not the ones who give you your calling. When you were given your calling, it wasn't a conference call. It was you and God. They were not part of it. Not even your spouse, not even your kids. So who are you responsible for? The one who gave you that gift. So for me, I'm like, you know what? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words, they're just words. Let them move over, because everything is all about interpretation. And anything that you take is the meaning that you attach to it. So if someone calls you something, say something nasty about you, ask yourself, why is it affecting you like that? Because if it's not you, it should be just be, just off like this. Water off a duck's back. Just rub it off like this. Let it go. Don't let things taint your purpose. Don't let things affect your responsibility to God and to man. Because I can tell you, the more you're in public scrutiny, the more people will say things. That's just get that from the beginning. I'm not going to lie to you. And the more people will be upset, especially when you say polarizing statements. Sometimes I'll come and say, like, I don't want to work with people who don't want to work with me. And people are like, oh, who does she think she is, or that kind of thing. But that doesn't bother me, because it's a fact. I want to work with people who want to work with me. And I want the people working with me to come with such a sense of confidence in the work that they're doing with me, that they have no choice but to get results. Anything opposite of that, I don't want it. So the same way you don't want what you don't want is the same way I don't want what I don't want. Does that make sense? And the moment you recognize that, you're happy to polarize people, because not everybody or everything is meant to be in your life, right? Next point, Tim, is I want you to be your own best PR. I want you to be your best public relations expert. Because if you don't tell others what it is that you do, or what it is that you have accomplished, who will? You know? People think that people will talk about you all the time, but people have their own life, right? People are busy. They don't think about Joanne all the time. So Joanne's responsibility is for people to like, I need to show up every single day, so that, because when you're out of sight, you're out of mind. But every day you see me pop up on your Instagram feed, you see me pop up on TikTok, you see me pop up on Facebook, you see me pop up on YouTube, I become top of your mind. So when you're looking for a coach, or you're looking for an expert, you're like, or you hear someone saying, I need a coach to help me step into my next level, you're like, I know the person. I know the person for you to help you move from that stuck state to really living your life, a life of significance. There's a coach called Joanne Muturi. Go and book a clarity call with her. And the YouTube there, that's a clarity link. You go book a call with her. It's free. I don't charge for it. If you're a good fit, we continue. If you're not a good fit, at least we'll have met each other, and we'll have a nice chat, and life goes on. I'll give you a recommendation, whether it's another coach, it's another book, but you won't leave that call without something, right? So when you're your own best PR expert, you give people an understanding of your capabilities, your experience, your skill set, your intelligence, so that They know what it is that you have on the table. But if you never tell anybody what it is that you have to offer, how will they know? So be the one to spread out your buffet. Here, we spread out the buffet of the courses. Hello, Next Level, CCC, My Life Purpose Program, one-on-one coaching. We have a whole buffet. But who lays out the buffet? Then the caterer, the chef, and I'm the chef of these courses. Who else talks about what it is that that they have as their expertise? Then the person who is doing the thing. So you are your best PR expert. Next one, team, is put up your hand, right? Women especially, they never raise their hand when new opportunities are being discussed. I want you, one of my clients, when we did the vision board, when she presented it to us, she said 2023 is her year of saying yes. She said to us that every opportunity which will come her way, she's going to put up her hand and she's going to say yes. So I want you to say that 2023 is your year of yes. If it's your year of yes, if it's not, don't lie to yourself, right? So ask yourself, how can I say yes to every opportunity so long as it's aligned? So next year, when people contact me and tell me, come and speak to our bank, come and speak to our church, come and speak on my podcast, come and speak in my virtual summit. I've already accepted 3 summit invitations, including my own for 2023. I'm ready, right? But you have to say yes. So you need to put up your hand. You have to say yes. You have to say to yourself that, you know what? These opportunities, nobody will give them to me. Henry, fire. Thank you so much. Yeah. So it's so important. And when people ask you the first time, you say yes. And when they ask you the second time, you say yes again. And when they ask you the third time, you say yes again, right? I was pleasantly surprised, right? It's the year of saying yes. Say yes, say yes. Single people, you're invited for a date. Say yes. You never know, right? You're going through a transition in your life. You're probably, separated and you're like, oh, I'm hoping things will improve. And someone says they want to go, right? Say yes. Opportunities are under our nose, here, under, but many of us don't know when they're there. It's your year of yes, Esther. But the next point, and I want you to say this, including Henry, I love it when the guys come because it's always nice to be represented both ways, is also part of you willing to be seen in 2023. It's okay to say no. So if something is not aligned with you, I always get so many people inviting me to do their programs, do different things, and some of them I'm like, it's not for me. But when it's for me, I'll say yes. But when it's not for me, I'll say no. And also be ready for people to say no to you. And that's okay, right? And many people, when people say no to them, they take it as rejection. If someone was invited someone to do my program and they say, Joanne, I'm not going to do your program, I never take it personally because I don't know the person's circumstances. Maybe they're not even aligned with me. It's not the season. I've had people who have said no, and a month later, 2 months, they come and they're like, heck yes, let's do this. So never take no as rejection, right? Never take no as, oh, this person doesn't like me. Don't personalize things. It's the cause they're saying no to. It's not you they're saying no to. Don't personalize things. Do you understand what I mean? And when people tell you not that, oh, I'm not ready for this, respect that. Because when they are ready, they will be the ones looking for you. Do you know there are clients who started seeing me when I was a new coach? And they're like, this one, she won't last. She's going to do a 1 year, 2 years like other people. 3 years, Joanne is still there. 4 years, she's still there. And then they're like, 5 years, what if I started with her when I did? And I'm like, don't think like that. Think to yourself, this was the time we were meant to work together. So don't have that thing where you're always, criticizing yourself. Oh, I wish, like there's one who was so regretful. She really cried when we spoke. She's like, oh my God, I wish I worked with you those 5 years ago when we spoke. Where would I be now? And I said, don't chastise yourself. Now is the time we were meant to work together. And because now you're ready, you will give it so much more attention. Do you understand what I'm saying? Just say yes or no. Because for us, it's really understanding that seasons are there, including in this work that I'm doing. There are seasons where I'm up there, my psyche is all there, but there are also times when life happens. I go through trials, I go through challenges, I go through so many things that I may not even talk about. Some things I just keep them. Not everything has to be talked about, right? But I process them in my own way. I have my own support system that helps me to process. And during those times, it's okay for me to hibernate a little. It's okay for me to step away from this a little. It's okay for me not to be visible so that I can take care of myself, because I don't want to be a wounded healer. Do you know what a wounded healer is? Like me, I have so many issues, and I'm a coach, and I come here with my issues. But because you guys are receiving from me and I've not processed and healed, I transfer those things to you guys unknowingly. So be very careful who you follow, because there are so many wounded healers. They're helping people, but they themselves are not healed. They have so much unhealed and unprocessed trauma. You are a walking, you're walking with so much trauma, but you've not worked on it, you've not processed it, and you're still going to teach and pass on knowledge to people, and you don't know that that trauma bonding is going to the people that you have been assigned to you without your recognition. So as a coach, as a mentor, I always say you need to get therapy, you need to get healed, you need to go through that whole process where when you're going through stuff, process that stuff before you go showing up to your people, because you don't want to transfer this stuff. Yeah, that's just what I've shared. Yeah, I don't know who it is, Facebook user. Yeah, that's what I've just shared. So you need to be very aware of that. So it's not always just about showing up, because sometimes it's a season for you to not show up, so that you can be able to heal, so that you can be able to get your restoration, so that you can be able to get your cup healed, so that you can be able to process your emotions rather than keep numb them. I have been a number in the past. Many of you have shared this. I don't hide it. I numb stuff. It's a coping mechanism I've had. I'm just like, okay, let's move on swiftly. And the moment I realized I'm a number, I had to process that. How am I numbing my pain? How am I numbing my emotions? What is that doing to me? Because it's poisonous, isn't it? When you don't let things process, right? And it goes back to when I was sick, and I had to really move on quickly so that I could recover. And I didn't process it. And one day I sat down and I'm like, I never processed that part of my journey. And when I did, I just felt such a release, because I knew what I had been holding for so long. If you've gone through a chronic health condition, it could go either way. Doctors are saying I was given 6 months to live, processing even those kind of words and dealing with them. And for me, being a type A person, I'm very type A. I'm a doer. I like action. I'm like, let's move, let's move, let's move. Like whatever you've said to your face, bye. I'm not taking none of that. Let's keep moving. But those words somewhere are in your subconscious, and they still have to be processed, if you guys understand what I'm saying. So for me, I had to sit back and realize that, yes, these words were said, or this thing happened to me. 6 months? Is it 6 months? 1 year has passed. 2 years have passed. 3 years have passed. 4 years have passed. 5 years have passed. 6 years have passed. 7 years have passed. 8 years have passed. What a testimony of God's goodness. That someone who was given 6 months to live has 8 years and many more on the way, because she chose to focus on what mattered. But at the same time, she had to process what she had numbed. Got it? Just say got it. Yes or no? So that's my example. So as I'm visible, right now I'm sharing with you a story that's a form, I'm sharing with you my story. It's personal to me. For some people who'll be like, oh my God, she's saying all that. Yes, it's my story. So I share it the way I want. But that's my story. And I know that somebody else is listening to me, and their life is going to be transformed as a result, because they'll realize, number one, they are either what are they called, they numb their emotions, or number two, they'll realize, where would somebody put a full stop where God has put a comma? Where am I allowing another human being to stop me from living my life? So by me sharing my story, I'm opening up things for people. So by you sharing your own story, you don't know how you're liberating someone else, how you're giving out someone else freedom. My team got it. Liz got it. Thank you, Liz. Esther got it. Yes, I like those who got it. And as we come almost to a close, I want to give you a few more. I want you that as you show up in 2023 and show the world what you've got, I want you to speak with authority. I want you to speak with assertiveness and power, that you know what it is that you're saying. Sometimes people speak and, you're not speaking with precision, you're not speaking with clarity, you're waffling, you're going, you're rambling on, and you're going round the same thing over and over again. Yes, I do that sometimes because I want to emphasize the point, but it's also something. But when you speak with authority, people respect you because they know what it is that you're saying. How do you speak with authority? You speak with authority because you've taken time to prepare. I didn't just come out there, wherever I was, straight to this live stream. I had a preparation period. I sat down with my notebook. I sat down with my journal. I sat down and wrote down the notes that I'm going to do today. By the time I come and do a live stream, I'm ready. An actor is not going to go to stage and speak and give their lines without practicing, without rehearsing. They can't do that. A musician cannot go and sing if she doesn't know the lines that she's singing. And as you come and represent yourself in this game called life, in this stage of life, you need to know what you're saying. You need to speak with authority. You need to be clear and succinct. And as I said, sometimes taking a contrary position if you have to. You don't always have to be a yes, yes, yes person. There are times you take a contrary position. Will people like you less? It's up to them. They're not for you. I always say not everybody's for me. Will people like you more? Perhaps yes, because they'll be like, she speaks the truth, she speaks facts. I like her, or I like him. But you're not doing this for people. You're doing this because you know that this is your calling, whatever it is. I'm doing this because I was made to do this. This is it. I love it. And as much as this is the season I'm in, this is what I'm doing. I'm an evolving being. Who knows, a year, 2 years down, 3 years down the line, I may metamorphosize a little, I may evolve a little, but that's part of the human experience. But for now, this is it for me. And I absolutely love it. Right? So as you become visible, know that all these things are tips that you can always come back and refer to, and understand that as you speak with authority, you speak with power, people will be like, yeah, she made a point. I liked what she said. I like what she's about. And then they're going to share what it is that you're teaching. They're going to share your impact. And yesterday, I did share with my ladies from the 100 Day Sprint as we round it up, and this is where I'm going to finish. I want you to think, as you build your performance, as you build your as you build your platform, as you show the world what you've got, as you show the world what you're made of in 2023. I want you to understand, and it was so interesting that I shared to them that you're still a masterpiece as you are a work in progress, and that's me. But as you're a masterpiece, you create that piece de resistance that God has put you to be, making you that formidable force, whatever that looks like. I want you to ask yourself, what masterpiece are you going to be in this life? Write that for me in the chat. What masterpiece are you going to be remembered for? What's that piece of your life that people will be like, I remember Joanne for this. I remember Esther for this. I remember Jennifer for this. I remember Mags for this. I remember, Elizabeth for this. I remember Mary for this. I remember Joyce for this. I remember Henry for this. What do you want to be remembered for? Because the moment you get that into your head, you'll always be working towards that. Does that make sense? So think about someone, and live in the UK, and when I came to England, this was one of the first places I asked to be taken. I asked to be taken to Stratford upon Avon, to the home of William Shakespeare, because for so long I've been a Shakespeare fan. I love the English language. I love vocabulary. I love building my vocabulary. I love poetry. I love prose. Some like take me to William Shakespeare. And when I went there, I remember I was so emotional. My God, just seeing the spoons he used, seeing where he sat down to write, all the amazing things that he did, his mother's bed, his house, what masterpiece are you going to be remembered for? And when you think about Shakespeare, some of you remember Romeo and Juliet, right? And um, Julius Caesar, his three biggest pieces were um, Romeo and Juliet, Hamlet, and Julius Caesar. I think those were no, and Macbeth. Those were his biggest three. But think about when this man was doing those things. And for me, it was such an amazing experience going to Shakespeare's home, because I was thinking to myself, like, Romeo and Juliet was written between 1594 to 1596. Just think about those years. And now in 2020, well, it was 2016 when I went to visit that place, 2017, Much Ado About Nothing was written between the year 1598 to 1599. Think how long ago, those many years. And these pieces of art, of work, of literally genius, we are still referring to them. Think about Michael Jackson, his amazing performance, Thriller. Think about all the songs of Michael Jackson, Heal the World, Bad, all those songs that Dirty Diana, all the songs that are Michael Jackson. He's no longer here with us, but his legacy is still with us. Think about Elvis Presley with his blue suede shoes, the Beatles, right? Think about all these people who impacted the world. Think about people like, we've just gone through football season, people like Pele, right? Think about all the legends that who have gone long before us, right? Think about Diego Maradona. Think about sing like a butterfly, fly like a bee. Was that what it was? Muhammad Ali. Boxing geniuses had such impact, left legacies. Think about your legacy. And I taught this in my class yesterday. It's called your magnus opus. Tim, can you write that? Because we spoke about it yesterday. Magnus opus. Your magnus opus is that masterpiece that you will create that will never be forgotten. Right? Think about the musicians, Beethoven Symphony Number 9. Some of these are exemplary pieces that over the years cannot be duplicated. Mona Lisa, Leonardo da Vinci. Think about those things. I remember when I went to Paris a couple of years ago, and I was like, I have to see the Mona Lisa, I have to see the Mona Lisa. And we queued, and we queued, and we queued. Oh my God, I think we queued like for an hour or so. We queued, and I'm like, I'm not leaving here until I see that Mona Lisa. And then I walked, it's small, it's not what I was thinking. But it was the Mona Lisa, and I'm like, wow, wow. I stood over 1 hour to see this art, this masterpiece. Leonardo da Vinci, long gone, but his work still stands. So think about you, Joanne Muturi. Think about you watching me right now. What is your magnus opus? What is the great work that you're going to be remembered for? And I want you to take time to think about it these few days before we close the year. What do you want to be remembered for? For some of you, Deborah, you want to be remembered for being, she's the menopause whisperer, helping women go through that transition. It's not an easy transition, I believe, and she helps women maneuver from, from their current state into menopause, right? And she makes it so seamless and so smooth. Those heat flashes and all the things that women go through, she helps make that process so much easier. Is that something every woman needs? I think so, 1,000,000%. because it's something that happens through that transition that sometimes nobody understands other than somebody who has been through that. And that's what Deborah has been through. And she teaches that, right? And I want you to know that as you build on your great work, your magnum opus, I want you to know that no greater thing will you be remembered for than you being you. So Leonardo da Vinci showed up as himself. Tomorrow, is it tomorrow? Friday, oh, it's Friday. It's Friday night. I'm going to watch the Whitney Houston movie. Another legend. She'll forever be remembered, you know? And one of my dear friends, she sent me this book. I actually ordered it. So I wanted a hand signed book. And some of you, I sent it to you. It's called Bold and Courageous: How to Confidently and Apologetically Walk in Your God Given Authority. I had the privilege for doing her, for doing a review of the book before it was launched. And when she sent this book to me, she's like, Joanne, thank you for everything. Seriously, I love you more than you know and celebrate just how special you are. I take these words literally because I walk in boldness and I walk in courage. And I know that everything I do, even as my friend, as she shows up in her power, and she shows her, she talks about things that are so important, how trauma impacts behavior, some of the things that she's gone through, self-esteem, a lot of low self-esteem issues, things to do with her self-image, and how she's been able to walk through. And now this book, this is her magnum opus. She will be remembered for writing this book, Bold and Courageous. So as I leave you today, as I wrap up this last um, 2020 2022 live stream, I want to leave you the words that are at the back of this book. Your purpose requires the most courageous version of you. That's what Candice says, and I 1,000,000% agree with her. And if you're one of those people who is like, what's the most courageous version of myself? What does courage look like for me in the coming year? And you're like, I really want to get clear on my purpose. I want to get clear on my calling. I want to really step into the fullness of what I was created to be. Let's speak. As I said, I have, programs that will really help fortify your confidence. I have programs that will help you show up in a way you've never shown up before. I have programs that will help you bring out your magnum opus, your great work, as I create my own great work. So, on that note, I love you and leave you. And I want to pray for each one of you that 2023 will be the magical year where you'll experience every dream that you have trusted for. That it's going to be the year that you're going to walk into full visibility of your calling. It's going to be the year where you're going to take God's word literally when He says to you, I've not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. That's exactly what you're going to walk in. You're going to walk with power. You're going to walk with love, and you're going to walk with a sound mind, because God did not create you to be struggling all the time with anxious thoughts, with depression, with all these crazy, things. I understand mental health is a thing, but that's not what God created for you for. He created you to be able to even get supported through those things, to get support in your mental health, to get support. And that's why we all need coaches, we all need therapists, because that's not the state, that's not your designated state. That's not your original state. Your original state is pure. Your original state is unadulterated. Your original state is confident and wise. Your anything that is contrary to what God says of you, think about it. So if He says He gave you power, that's what He gave you. If He says He gave you love, that's what He gave you. If He says He gave you a sound mind, that is your birthright. And it is your responsibility to take it and run with it, right? So as a coach, as your friends, and as a mentor, I want to speak life to each one of you. And I want to pray that, and I would request if you can send this video, not for me, Somebody would need to see this. Send this to 3 4 5 people, whoever you're inclined to share with. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do. It goes such a long way. We are still a baby channel, but one thing I know is that baby channels also grow. And I've nurtured this channel. I love it. It's really been so exciting to do the weekly lives. As I said, I'm not going to be here next week because I'm going to be pouring into myself. I'm going to be putting myself in a position to receive what I'm meant to do for you guys, what I'm meant to do. As I said, I'm teaching with my mug, be willing to be seen, because this is very, very important for me in the coming year. It always has been, but more than ever, 2023, I'm taking it a notch higher. And what does that look like? I don't know. So I have to sit with myself. I have to hibernate a little. So next week, other than the people who will be booking calls to determine which program they want to fit into, and coach, if you could put the links again, I'm literally in hibernation mode so that I can be able to really give you the best of myself when I come back the following week. So our next live will be on you guys said the 13th, the 12th of January, 2023. I will not be here next week. And that's why I'm taking this opportunity to wish you a very happy new year, a year full of epic success and all manner of yumminess. May you experience the magic of of your creativity, the magic of your imagination coming to life, and above all, the immense possibilities that lie ahead when you collaborate with God. It's a collaborative effort. When He leads, allow yourself to follow. When He tells you turn to the right, turn to the right, because He who started a good work in you is faithful to complete it. But you have to partner with Him. You have to walk with Him. You have to ask of Him. You have to say, show me, lead me, direct me, guide me, help me. On my own, I can do nothing, but with you, we are a formidable force. May your spirit infiltrate me so that when I show up in the world, I'm willing to be seen. When I show up in the world, I'm showing up with humility, but I'm still showing up with power. Because you who is inside of me is what the world is seeing. And you who is in me is so much greater than he who is in the world. And when you say those things and speak those things and live those things, they become real for you. And I want each one of you for this to be your reality. So as I sign out, I want you to put in the chat, this will be my reality. And that is how we seal it. This is how we affirm it. This is how we consider it done. And to me, it is so done. It is done and dusted. I'm like, we are visible, we are being seen, we are magnetic. We are bringing people from the left, the right, the north, the south, the east, and the west. People are being called into my atmosphere. They're being called into this environment because what I'm teaching them is going to change their lives. And I want you to say that for yourself, that what I bring onto the table is invaluable, that when I speak, people listen, that I am a magnet and a catalyst for change. Because the things that I bring and the things that I say are things that are different, are things that have an original and a new spin to them. When I speak, I'm not regurgitating other people's information. I'm speaking original information that the Lord God Himself has placed inside of me. And that's why I come with boldness. And that's why I come with confidence. And that's why I walk in my purpose and my authority. You say those things to yourself daily and they become sealed. It is done. Why would you live a less than worthy life? And it's time for many of you to upgrade your life. Upgrade your life, upgrade your mindset, upgrade your thinking, get into community, get a coach. Hook up with me, even if it's not me, get your own coach. I'm not attached to those kind of things. I just want you to get help. Even if the help is not with me, I'm cool with that. But just get the help that you need. Don't stay that's like that. I want you to be churning out these things out of your mouth because they're your reality. I don't need to overthink these words. They just come because I say them all the time that it's such a natural thing. But it's because I have affirmed myself. I sit well in my purpose. I sit well in my calling. I was made to do this. And irrespective of who agrees or whoever doesn't agree, I know this is my life work. In this season, this is what God has assigned me to do. And because of that, I walk with braveness and I walk with courage and I walk with purity of intention and motive in everything that I do. Because I know that what I'm saying will change lives, has changed lives, will continue to change lives, right? It is your reality. Reality. I see that. Oh, bless you, Elizabeth. And what a cute baby you have. I love your photo. This will be my reality. I'm a magnet and a catalyst. That's what you are, sweetheart. Because what you say you are is who you are. And I want you to take that position and be bold and have that conviction in your spirit that that's what you are. It is your reality, but make it your reality. And with that, I'm over and out. See you in 2023. Share this video not with one person, not with two people, three and above, because you don't know whose life will completely be blessed. And for those I'll be having calls with in the coming week, I look forward to speaking with you. Those of you who will be joining me for the next level on purpose on January the 11th, the 10th, I look forward to welcoming you into my program and into my world. And even for those who will not sign up for anything but continue to be on the social media, remain plugged in, remain connected, because we're going to be having an amazing, amazing entry into the year. There's a masterclass that I'll be teaching on 2301 2023. I want nobody to miss that. It will be talking about the upgraded life, and I want each one of you to join me for that. It will be a paid masterclass, but very affordable for everybody. So I have a lots and lots that I'm cooking up my sleeves as we speak right now. There are a lot of things that God is revealing to me, and that's why next week I need to be silent so that all these things are created, and so that when I come back, I come loaded with such yumminess, with such goodness, because I'll have filled my cup in order to be able to, for you guys to feed from my saucer, right? A coach who serves at the highest level needs to be poured into, and that's what I'm going to be doing. So take care, everybody. Happy New Year! Happy New Year! Happy New Year! God has done it. We've gotten to the end. We have finished strong. We will finish strong. We have finished strong, and we're going to start even stronger. Bye, everybody. God bless you soon. Not this week, not this coming week, the other one, 12th. Remember that. So next week, no lives. We'll start on the 12th. You're most welcome. Such a delight doing this. You can see I don't even want to go, yeah, but I have to go. It's been such an honor. Thank you so much, Esther. HFCs, my clients call me HFC. It means highly favored coach. And every time I see HFC, I literally feel the highly favoredness coming over me. And thank you, my clients, for always speaking that name to me. It really warms up my spirit every time I see it. Yes, a God-led 2023 Nemo. Let God be your guide. Let him be your director. Let him be your counselor. Let him be your lead coach, right? We have physical coaches, life coaches, Joanne, but your main coach, let your Holy Spirit be your main coach. And when the Holy Spirit guides you and leads you, he gives you instructions on who to work with, who not to work with, which direction to go. And it will be so clear and succinct that without a doubt, you will know the voice that is speaking to you. So be very keen. And that's why I said I'm hibernating next week, because I need the right voices to infiltrate me. These internet streets are so noisy, and I'm so grateful that you're here. You could be listening to a million other people, and I know some of you are doing that. You're listening to me for 2 minutes, you go jump, listen to another one, go come back to me, go to another. No, just be silent. Just be quiet. Like, just decide. Don't let too many voices enter your head. Choose one, two, three that you can follow, that truly are spirit led, and know that these people are not just talking from their heart or their own evil motives or their own human ambitions, really, but they're coming from a deeper place. Because when someone comes from a deeper place, you will know how they talk, how they operate, how they behave. It will show. And I really pray that you guys will have that discernment. The discernment to pick between the wheat and the chaff, because these internet streets are dirty, my friends. They are dirty. There are all manner of people walking around calling themselves coaches, all sorts of people calling themselves Christians, and all manner of people saying that they are teaching certain principles. But be very wary who it is that you follow. Ask for wisdom, ask for knowledge, ask for discernment. And believe you me, when you ask, you will know. You will be able to separate the wheat from the chaff. And that is my prayer for you, that you will not be misled in this YouTube, Instagram, TikToks. Do not be misled. Choose the right mentors, choose the right guides, and stick with them. Because if you stick with the right person, you will know by the fruit. You will see the fruit in their lives, and you will see the fruit in your life. Because if you're with a mentor and a coach and your life is still stagnant, there's a big problem there. If nothing is changing, there's a big problem there. Got me? Yeah? You have to be moving from one level of glory to the next. You can't be static. You can't be with someone who's meant to be leading you to your promised land and you're never seeing that promised land. There has to be fruitfulness. There has to be evidence. And I've gone back to teaching. There has to be evidence. I can't stop it. It's in me. You know them by their fruit. That's it. I'm done. I'm over and out. Happy New Year, guys. Bye.